Welcome to a pretty quick start here for Michigan softball versus number 17 Washington. Uh, we were caught a little off guard with our timing and scheduling here. So I'm Max Wood with the play-by-play, and I am joined by Amara Okoro.
Okoro. Yes.
Sorry.
Wait, it's okay.
Sorry. I'm thinking of Pittsburgh Steelers in my head. Chukwuma Okoro.
Yeah. I get that a lot. No worries.
As on the mound, or in the circle for the Wolverines, we have Aaron Hahn. And up to bat for the Washington Huskies, we have Addie Craig. Or Mila Reddy. I apologize, Mila Reddy.
The Michigan pitcher, Aaron, is leading the team in strikeouts right now. Key player for this Michigan team, just looking to keep this offensive momentum going.
Mila Reddy lays down a bunt, goes right down to Haig, who gets the ball going down to first. Advancing runner gets a second on a fielder's choice. Will be runners on second with 1 out now on this top of the second inning. Up to bat now, number 25, Sophie Mazzola for the Washington Huskies. Mazzola's sitting at a .333 average on the season. Limited at bats so far, 51 total. Has hit 3 homers, so does have fence power.
Mazzola, another one of those key offensive players for Washington, as she hits one sky high in the air.
As Mazzola sent a pop-up into foul territory, and it's brought down by Lauren Putz sitting in the right field.
Putz, another key player for this Michigan defense, playing in the outfield, and also utility player, very useful on offense, batting around .477 with 12 home runs.
Now to bat, number 7, Casey Burdick for the Washington Huskies. Casey Burdick now at a .406 average. Started 25 games for the Huskies. As the first pitch is taken for a ball.
Burdick, a key player that they want on those bases. She's one of their fastest players, as well as the ability to get on that base and make sure that she's hitting those runs and tagging them in.
Second pitch also taken for a ball. Now at a 2-0 count. 2 outs. 1 runner on second for the Huskies. Pitch coming. Taken again. Now 2-1 count. That ball is strike, or that pitch is strike. Wind up, pitch coming. Taken again. This time for a ball. A 3-1 count. Casey Burdick has not swung yet this at bat.
Which is a little odd for her, since she's usually somebody who's attacking that ball first, second pitch, as we've seen in her past plays.
Pitch coming. Cut through, check swing by Burdick, and she gets the walk. Now there appears to be a bit of a commotion in the stands. Timeout called by the umpire.
Michigan not happy with that call, as both teams are looking to regroup after this play.
Now a visit in the circle by Michigan head coach Bonnie Thole.
Michigan looking to have this call overturned. Aaron Hahn, the pitcher, not happy with that. And it's not going to be overturned. She will remain on base.
First pitch coming against number 16, Alexis DeBoer. DeBoer, of course, the daughter of famed former Huskies football head coach Kalen DeBoer.
DeBoer also another offensive leader for this Washington team with a batting average around 418 with 11 runs and almost 30 RBIs so far this season.
Second pitch taken for a ball. Now 2-0 count, 2 outs, runner on second and first for the Huskies. Pitch coming, swung on by DeBoer, goes out into left field where it travels over for a 3-run shot.
It's another example of DeBoer's power at that plate, a key offensive player for this Washington team. Looking to tack on a couple extra home runs to her already impressive.
And that is DeBoer's 12th homer on the season. Batting .414 now with 32 RBIs. This is a very clearly one of her specialties, swinging for the fences. She makes great contact with the ball, and it shows. Now 2 for 2 on the night. First pitch coming against number 42, Giselle Alvarez, taken high.
Also another run producer for this Washington team. An average of about 370 on the year and have 9 home runs with 36 RBIs.
Alvarez takes second pitch. Called for a strike. Next pitch coming now to Alvarez. Taken high again. A 2-1 count. Base is clear after the 3-run shot by DeBoer. Michigan now trailing 3-1.
Michigan has lost the past 2 games in this series. They're looking to get that win.
Ball shot down to the right line into right field for a single by Alvarez.
Michigan typically likes to jump early in these games against high-pressure situations, but it seems like they're missing simple plays, making small errors that can really hurt them in the long run.
Up to bat now for the Huskies, number 4, Jaden Glab. Glab, the catcher out of Dubuque, takes first pitch for a strike.
Batting average of almost 400 and an on-base percentage of .526. Once again, just displaying how this offensive power for Washington is a key in their success.
Second pitch fouled off by Glab. Now an 0-2 count. Oh, it sends pitch down. It is taken for ball 1. A little bit low on the zone there.
Michigan looking to gain back some momentum here and take some away from this Washington team. Both benches are a little fired up, but Washington seems to have a lot more energy.
Pitch coming and taken for the strikeout by Hohen to end the top of the second with a lead-taking 3-run homer by Alexis DeBoer. Now this Husky team, number 17 in the nation, obviously, we know that they came here. They can hit the ball well. Multiple players above 300. Now we'll see if they can back it up. Michigan coming up to bat.
Some keys for this Michigan team to keep in mind are that this last game, yesterday they jumped out early with a 4-run lead against Washington, but Washington was able to take that lead back and beat them 7-4 in the end. But once again, Michigan just trying to keep away from making those small errors on defense and really locking in on this offense. Their offense truly is the heart of this team, and I'm excited to see what they have in store for this inning.
In the circle for the Washington Huskies is Sophia Raimuno with a 2.86 ERA, whip under 1, and a 6-2 win-loss record. She's clearly one of the better pitchers on this team. Might be the best. 2 complete games on the season, 1 save, so got a bit of a utility between her. She's allowed a .209 batting average against. So has limited batting very efficiently.
Michigan coming up to bat is going to be Lily Valamont, their catcher, who, not to be discouraged, is one of their better hitters on the team, hitting at .253.
Coming out of the 2022 class, was ranked the #1 catching prospect by extra innings. So all her life, really been a star on the field. Is Remuno sends pitch one outside, or catches the inside zone. Will be taken for a strike by Valamont. Second pitch now coming. Fouled off by Valamont. Goes back into the stands. Next pitch now coming. Taken for a ball. Move it to a 1-2 count for Valamont.
Michigan looking for those base runners to try to catch up to this Washington team. Hopeful in Valamont.
Pitch coming. Valamont sends it right down the left field line. Will cruise her way into second with a sliding double. Ball coming in. Ends up coming off the glove of Mila Reddy. She bobbles it there. No chance at a tag. So a leadoff double for Valamont.
This Michigan team can really turn a game around pretty quick when they get those base runners on and a decent amount of momentum. Hopefully an example of this we'll see coming up next as our next player comes up to the box. Number 7, Maddie Erickson.
Erickson at a 158 average, one of the less efficient hitters on the team. Let's see if she can try and get something going as she sends a ball out. Will end up being a fly out into left field for Ava Carroll, as Valamont will retreat back to second.
Erickson hit a key home run in game 1 of this series on Friday afternoon. It could not connect on this last play.
Up to bat, Avery Fantucci, the shortstop for the Wolverines.
Vantucci with a .267 average.
Second pitch taken by Fantucci, moving it to a 1-1 count. 1 out on the bottom of the second. Wolverines trailing 3-1 with 1 runner on second. As Fantucci makes contact on a pitch coming, where it is taken and hauled in easily by number 16, Alexis DeBoer, for the second out of this second inning.
Washington once again able to take advantage of this Michigan team and really trying to force those outs here as they try to keep this lead ahead.
Indiana Langford, one of the faster players on this team, was second in steals last season for the Wolverines. Looked like she was going for a slap approach, try and get a moving bunt down and end up getting a first, maybe advance a runner to third, but ends up taking it. We'll take the second pitch as well. Same approach, now to 1-1 count. Langford staying with the approach. Takes ball 2.
Langford as a left-handed batter, trying to take advantage of that slapping technique, but can't seem to connect on these pitches.
Next pitch coming, getting fouled off by Langford now, 2-2. Langford was an all Big Ten first team selection last season. Led the team in batting average with a .406. Makes contact with another one, ends up being fouled off.
As we keep getting deeper and deeper into this count, Langford is not letting up with that aggression, which is a key for this Michigan team, as they're trying to capitalize on having a base runner on, hopefully try to tie up that score or get ahead, as Lauren Putz is up next to bat.
Count remains at 2-2. As the ball is fouled off again. It will remain at 2-2 again. Ramuno sends a pitch. Taken by Langford for ball 3, moving to a full count.
Washington not happy with that call.
Next pitch coming. Langford hits it, sends it into shallow outfield for a single. It's being picked up by Ava Carroll.
Michigan now with runners on the corners as Lauren Putz comes up to the plate. Looking to tie this game up or hopefully get ahead. Or Janisa Conway is up to bat.
Janisa Conway, one of the better batters on this team now, sitting at a .412 average. Sends a first pitch foul. Start the count 0-1. 2 outs at the bottom of the second. Wolverines with ducks on the pond, runners on first and third. Janisa Conway last season was a unanimous All Big Ten first team selection. Bat .379.
Conway also had a huge home run in the last game last night against Washington, along with Avery Fantucci. But once again, the Wolverines still fell short.
Conway takes pitch 2, moving to a 1-1 count. Pitch now coming, taken by Conway. With the count 2-1.
Conway has multiple extra base hits this season, looking to get another as Washington throws their next pitch.
Conway makes good contact with that ball, drives it out into deep left field where it is taken all the way for another 3-run shot in this second inning. And Michigan retakes the lead, now 4-3 for the Wolverines.
Once again, this Michigan team cannot be counted out. Though they're behind, it's not something that they really take as something that they want to see as a disadvantage. They use those extra bases, they use those runners, they use those big bats behind the plate to capitalize, and that's exactly what they just did here.
Conway now with her 8th home run on the season. It'll move her up to 30 RBIs on the season as well. And we'll bring up to bat now Lauren Putz for the Wolverines. Putz batting .425, I believe leading the team in batting average so far this season for all qualified hitters.
Also with 12 runs on the year. Looking to add a 13th here as she's up to the plate.
As Putz took first pitch for a ball. Second pitch now coming, also taken for a ball. Starting with a 2-0 count. And when you're a batter like her, 2-0 count really makes all the difference. Forcing someone like Raimundo to have to go into the strike zone, it's going to end up leading to pretty easy hits for Putz. As pitch 3 is taken for a ball as well.
This Michigan team seems to have really shaken up Raimundo here. She's in the circle trying to regroup. Putz trying to take advantage of that as the count's 3-0.
Putz takes strike 1 now, 3-1 count.
Putz is one of the top 10 ranked in slugging percentages and RBIs.
Pitch coming, taken by Putz for strike 2. Looked like she thought that was going to be ball 4 for a second and then stayed around.
Yeah, this Michigan team is not a fan of that call. I don't know. It did look a little inside to me, so.
Full count, Lauren Putz. Putz sends one up high into foul territory where it can't be tracked down by number 6, Melody Ace. It's a bit of a miscue there for a chance to end the inning for the Huskies.
Putz with 34 hits on the season is one of the leaders on this Michigan team.
Pitch down coming for Putz. Putz fouls it off.
Once again, staying headstrong in that box, not letting this tough Washington defense get to them. Michigan's really trying to take advantage of this moment, making sure that they are getting all those runs in as they can. This is a team that cannot be given extra outs.
Putz now takes ball 4 low to get on base with a walk. That being Putz's 27th walk on the season so far. She's really great at knowing where her zone is and making these batters have to work around her. What's about now the pitcher for today, Erin Hone. Batting .407 on the season with 3 home runs, 18 RBIs, 4 doubles. Second pitch coming for Hone, swung on. It looked like that might have hit the wrist of the catcher, Tia Durst, for the Huskies. She's taking a second.
Oh, not a batter you want to get hit by. Her power is insane behind that plate. Or excuse me, up at that plate. Washington team trying to regroup after they're a little shaken up by that.
Umpire coming to check on Durst, make sure we're good to go. Looks like we'll move on without much of a delay. Pitcher coming in this count. Now 1-1. Swung on, and that is a pop fly where it is hauled in by number 9, Mila Reddy, to end the inning.
What a successful inning for this Michigan team. With that 3-run shot by Janisa Conway, pushing the lead. Now Michigan now leading 4-3 against this Washington team. Hoping to get a stop here as they enter the top of the 3rd inning. Michigan does typically take these early jumps in games, but then does end up falling a little short as they progress to the 5th and 6th inning. But they're hoping to not have that same hiccup, trying to keep those defensive errors to a minimum, making sure that when they're in that batter's box, taking advantage of those pitches. Washington, on the other hand, had a huge 4th inning rally yesterday during their game to seize that momentum and ultimately the win. So as we enter the 3rd inning, Michigan probably keeping those things in check, making sure that they are not letting Washington get those hits, getting those multiple home runs, and getting those base runners on.
As we await the start of this 3rd inning, a pretty exciting 2nd inning, if I do say so myself. Two 3-run homers in order to keep the lead at 1 for Michigan, but bring up our score total to 7 between the 2 runs.
Yeah, Michigan has a very, very strong offensive attack when they're in those boxes. So it's impressive to see them keeping up with this Washington team that also has a very strong attempt. Washington obviously ranked 17 in the nation and undefeated in this Big Ten conference. Michigan looking for their first Big Ten win today.
Yeah, Michigan starting off winless in the Big Ten. And this would be a tough opponent to get your first, but it'd be a great way to start and get some momentum back in the conference standings. As up to bat is Allie Hetzel for the Huskies, as she takes the first pitch for a ball. Move it to a 1-0 count.
Hetzel with a 390 average and 4 home runs on the season. One of those strong team leaders at that plate.
Hetzel fouls off the second pitch, moving to a 1-1 count. The designated player for the game today for the Huskies.
So you can see through this Husky lineup, it's very dynamic. They're not just relying on 1 or 2 key players. All their players have something going for them, Hetzel included.
Pitch coming for Hetzel will be fouled off wide to right out in the outfield as we watch it go up over on the tin roof behind us here.
Oh, we may have a souvenir to pick up for later, too. Looks like there's 2 back there.
We'll get ourselves a couple by the end of the season. A 1-2 count for Hetzel as she takes ball 2. Now 2-2.
Washington does a great job of making sure they're stringing hits together rather just getting 1 or 2 independent.
As Hetzel makes great contact with the ball with a straight drive over into center field for a solo shot. As the entire Husky dugout goes out to celebrate her out at home plate.
And by the looks of this game, I think this is going to be all offense here.
This is definitely a rousing start for both offenses. 3 homers between them so far.
For sure. Washington, a team that you really have to look out for. They are, once again, power hitters, but it's not just those home runs. They will end up getting singles, doubles, triples to get those base runners on, and then executing with those home runs, hoping to get multiple and tagging against this Michigan team.
First pitch coming now for number 17, Ava Carroll. That ball is called foul. Up down the first baseline. Second pitch coming. He's taken for ball 1, now 1-1 count.
Carroll with a 356 average and 3 home runs on the inning. 3 home runs on the year and 21 RBIs as well. Another one of those Washington players that's really taken a stand as being a key member of this offense.
Next pitch coming, taken high by Carroll for ball 2. Move to a 2-1 count. 0 outs so far at this top of the third for the Huskies. No runners on base yet after that solo shot, but game is still tied up 4-4 as there's a drive into center field, and that is taken up by the Wolverines. Center fielder moved into second base, but not before a double achieved by Ava Carroll.
Adding on a base runner for this Washington team is not something that Michigan wants. Washington, like I've said before, is one of those teams that does capitalize off having those runners on base. And with their next batter coming up, Michigan's really looking for a stop here.
Carroll does have bag stealing speed, has gone 4 for 5 on stolen base attempts, so not a huge amount so far, but just about in line with any of your better bag swipers on the season. As it will be a pitching change for the Wolverines. Coming up now is number 22, Gabby Ellis, going into the circle. Ellis on a 2.67 ERA so far this season. Has made 14 appearances, 8 starts, with 3 complete games, so a lot of stamina for her as she goes into her warm-up.
Though Hone was taken out of the game, let's not discredit her work that she's done for this Michigan team, both as a hitter and as a pitcher. But making pitches changes is just what the Michigan team needs to hopefully keep this momentum going for them and stopping Washington's. Now that the score is tied up, it's more important than ever for Michigan to keep it up.
Ellis, in her first season with the Wolverines so far, was a pitcher for Mercer University last year. She had a 2.48 ERA over 113 innings pitched, and she led them to their first regional bid after winning the SoCon tournament. Ended up taking them all the way to the final of the Gainesville Regional, where they ended up falling to number 3 Florida. So has pitched in big moments and is very used to these kind of challenges. Number 3 Florida, of course, last year, a really great team. So number 17, definitely on par here. Number 17, Washington.
Yeah, Washington, once again, one of those teams going to take advantage of these moments, but it's not to say that Michigan can't with this pitching change. Michigan is just looking to get those, to throw this Washington team off their game, hopefully looking to capitalize. Though they don't have any outs in the inning so far, they're looking to get a 1-2-3 after this.
Up to bat now for Washington Huskies, number 6, Melody Acevedo, the shortstop. First pitch coming is taken by Acevedo for ball 1.
This Michigan team yelling to make sure that Ava Carroll, the Washington runner on second base, is not looking for that steal, but she's in position to do so.
Pitch coming now, taken by Acevedo again.
Michigan doing a great job of making sure those bases are covered as Acevedo looks like she's looking for a bunt almost. As the Michigan shortstop, Avery Fant, tries to run in and cover third base.
2-0 count now for Acevedo. No outs so far from the Wolverines. As that'll move it to a 3-0 count off that pitch. Wolverines staying very alert. Valamont popping up, getting ready in case Carroll tries to take the third base. Pitch now coming. And that is taken for a strike. Move it to a 3-1 count.
Acevedo with a 3.48 batting average and 2 home runs on the season. She's one of those power hitters for this Washington team as she skies one right up.
Acevedo sends one up right around to the pitching circle where it is hauled in easily by third baseman Maddie Erickson, I apologize, Maddie Erickson.
Number 9, Mila Reddy, is up to bat for this Washington team as she takes the first ball. Reddy
1-0 count for Mila Reddy.
Reddy not with the highest batting average on the team, but still a valuable contributor to their defensive front.
Pitch coming for Reddy. It's taken for ball 2. So far, Gabby Ellis struggling to find the zone against these batters. Forced that little pop out there, but gonna have to find the zone to challenge some of these people to have to swing. As there's a swing by Mila Reddy, who sends it into center field for an RBI single, or I apologize, a regular single, normal single.
Ava Carroll advancing to third base. Runners on the corners is number 25. Sophie Mazzola is up to bat now for Washington.
Only 1 out so far from the Wolverine fielders. Sophie Mazzola now back up. First pitch taken for a strike. Move to an 0-1 count. Mazzola 16 RBIs so far in the season. Just going to try and see if she can knock in a few more here.
Mazzola hasn't made it on base yet today, but with that 3.33 batting average, it's clear that she has the potential to. Especially trying to take advantage of this Michigan team that's struggling a little bit in the circle.
Mazzola an OPS a bit over 1,000. It's a really great slugging percentage combined with her her on-base percentage of 460, as second base is stolen by first baseman Mila Reddy.
Michigan smart not to throw down there to that second base steal. In that situation, it's extremely easy for Carroll to take home.
Runners now on second and third for the Huskies. Mazzola now with 2 runners in scoring position.
The base hit from Mazzola, 2 runs can easily score.
Pitch coming. Taken by Mazzola for ball 3. Into a 3-1 count.
Once again, this is an example of Washington being able to string these hits together and trying to get multiple runs in a single at-bat as we move to the count being full.
Full count now. Sophie Mazzola after taking that strike. Pitch coming. That is swung on and sent out into middle right field. Easily hauled in by Lauren Putz, who makes a throw down to home plate to avoid any runs being scored by the threatening Ava Carroll.
Which is impressive because Carroll, as we said before, is one of the faster runners on this Washington team. Known for known for stealing bases, so it's a great work by outfielders and the Michigan team to get that ball in quick.
Number 7, Casey Burdick, now up to bat for the Huskies. Inheriting 2 runners in scoring position so far for her to try and add on to her RBI total of 14. Burdick, 2 walks on the day.
Burdick being their leadoff batter is the exact type of player you want. She creates those small moments where she can get on base, hopefully with these runners in scoring position, also score them in.
And she's in a good position to walk again, starting with a 2-0 count. Pitch to the at-bat coming for Burdick as she takes again for ball 3.
Tight inside there, Ellis trying to regroup, trying to throw strikes to make these hitters swing and hopefully fly out or strike out. 2 outs, it's a high-pressure situation for her.
Pitch coming again. Taken for strike 1, moved to a 3-1 count for Burdick. Burdick not going to risk having to swing there, 2 outs. Hopefully not ground out. Maybe try and move it into a bases loaded situation. As she swings on that one and sends it foul. Move it to a full count. 2 outs, full count. Runners will be going off every pitch.
Washington's a really smart base running team with runners in scoring position.
As Burdick sends one deep to center field, and that goes off the wall. Tried to chase down by Janissa Conway. Conway doesn't get to it. Ends up being taken up by Ella Stevenson, who will throw it out to shortstop Avery Fantucci, who will end the play there with a 2 RBI double coming off the bat of Casey Burdick. Move it up for Alexis DeBoer with 1 runner on second. Huskies now taking the lead 6-4.
It's only the 3rd inning, and we have a score of 6-4 between Washington and Michigan. High scoring game for it being so early on. Both teams are really trying to seize this moment here. Michigan trying to just get out of the inning.
As DeBoer fouls one off after taking the first pitch for a ball. Move it to a 1-1 count. That one going just onto the roof of the press box here.
Michigan not really looking to play around anymore. Sun's starting to come out. Both teams are getting a bit tired. It's been a long inning.
Pitch coming, fouled off again, same place. Back up onto the tin roof.
We've got a couple of souvenirs now. Yeah, Michigan really just trying to get out of this inning, making sure they're not making any more errors, and just making sure this Washington team does not score any more runs before the Michigan lineup gets up to plate.
Pitch coming, taken by DeBoer. Tries to get it to Fantucci. Fantucci bobbles it and will not make the throw in time to get DeBoer out at first, and she'll have a single. Moving runners to first and third for the Huskies.
Fans are calling for a replay as the Michigan coaching staff also might be using their first challenge here on this play. It's a great job by Fantucci to knock that ball down. It was a hard hit off the bat of DeBoer, who's one of the hardest hitters on this team. But
as the Wolverines do use their challenge to try and see if they can get this out and end this inning for them. This inning where they've been struggling on defense very clearly.
Yeah. That was one of the things that Michigan really need to focus on for this game. They made 4 errors in the first game of this series on Friday, which really did lead to their demise, as well as the game yesterday where Washington won. Didn't make as many errors, but Washington still capitalized on these moments where Michigan was not playing their best.
Based on the view saw on the video board, I'm assuming that this challenge the call will probably stand. It looked like to me that DeBoer had the half step over before the ball ended up in the glove of first baseman Sienna Snyder.
Snyder did a beautiful job at stretching out, trying to make sure that ball did get in as quick as possible, but DeBoer's speed might have just beat her out there.
As we wait for a call, DeBoer sticking to first base, talking to the first base coach there. Not willing to let go. Last plate appearance, that 3-run shot that ended up tying up the game for the Huskies originally. If this stands, she'll go 3 for 3 so far on the day. 2 singles in that home run.
Not sure how they're going to score this here, as we're still waiting for a definitive call on this challenge from Michigan. But like Max said, it looks like it's going to stand, but the umpires are running back out now.
Get ready to hear what the call is. The call does stand, and it will go down as a single for DeBoer, who's having a great night per usual for her.
Yeah, DeBoer, the right-handed batter, averaging with a batting average of .414. Huge key on this Washington team. But a big loss for this Michigan team right here.
Giselle Alvarez now up to bat for the Huskies. 1 for 2 on the day. She takes first pitch for a ball as Ellis continues to struggle a little bit finding the zone. Second pitch now coming. Also taken for a ball and move to a 2-0 count. Runners on first and third for the Huskies as they lead 6-4. Top of the third inning, 2 outs.
Michigan really just looking to get out of this inning. There's a couple shots that have been taken.
So that ball is swung on by Alvarez. Moves out wide right, foul.
Ellis's pitch count is fairly low, sitting at just about 24, but has an ERA of 2.81.
As ball is flied out over into left field for Ella Stevenson, who ends the inning for the Wolverines. Another inning of a little bit of struggle there, but capping off 6-4, the Huskies lead going into the bottom of the third inning. Wolverines going to need to move their offense up with the Huskies as well, as that's going to be the theme on tonight. We'll see Sophia Raimuno go back to the mound, go back to the circle. We'll see if she continues to stay on. For how long that may be, with the way the offenses have been today, I'd say at any point we could see a pitching change coming in for the Huskies.
Oh, yeah. Washington not afraid to do a pitching change. Shouldn't be afraid either. Raimuno is going to head back onto that mound. She's been doing a great job this afternoon at keeping those Michigan players from getting those extra bases as often as they usually can. Though Michigan does have 4 runs, it's not to discredit Raimuno's work. Very fast pitcher. Low ERA. An ERA of 2.87. Great work in that circle. Michigan looking to get some of those runs back from Washington. Hopefully just tack on a couple here. making sure that they can keep those, get those pitches and take them to their advantage.
As we'll see Sophie Mazzola take the batter's box for the Wolverines when we come back. Currently still waiting around for everybody to get ready. It was a little bit odd. We see the catcher usually coming out first out of everybody. Tia Durst ready to get this half inning going.
Washington looks like they're hoping for a mercy win here, trying to get 14 runs ahead of this Michigan team, but Michigan doesn't want that, obviously.
I apologize. We'll see Ella Stevenson up to bat for the Wolverines.
She takes a low ball one from Ramuno.
First pitch taken for a ball. Second pitch now coming. Taken again. This time for a strike. Move to a 1-1 count.
Ramuno.
Stevenson,
Go ahead.
strikeout for today. Moving to an 0-1. As she takes another pitch. This time for a strike. Move to a 1-2 count.
Ramuno with only 2 strikeouts on the day so far, but has walked 3 batters, trying to get that number a little less evened out there.
As that pitch is swung on and taken up into the center, right through second base gap, where it'll be a single for Ella Stevenson to lead off the bottom of the third as we see the offense continue for both of these teams.
That's exactly what Michigan needed right here to get their heads back in this game after getting shaken up so badly at the top of this inning. Stevenson did a great job sending that ball right through the gap between shortstop and second base.
Ella Stevenson was a All Big Ten second team last season, trying to keep her trajectory up as we see Sienna Snyder come up to bat for the Wolverines. Will take the first pitch for a strike, move to an 0-1 count. Second pitch coming. Bunt attempt by Snyder will go foul.
Snyder with only 1 at-bat today. Struck out at the plate appearance for her. With a 192 batting average as a righty. She's looking to capitalize on this Michigan team having a base runner. She talks to the third base coach, trying to figure out a better strategy to make sure that they can get some of these runs back from the top of the inning.
Sienna Snyder, really great at drawing the walk. I think per at bat, I guess we shouldn't say at bat, but per plate appearance, I would say that she probably draws the most walks out of any player on this Michigan team. Bit of a guess by me, but that under my assumption of what I know, that is what I'm inferring.
Yeah, Michigan really not afraid to be aggressive in that batter's box. Snyder, one of those examples here.
As Snyder fouls off the second pitch, and we'll see the third go by a bit outside for a 1-2 count now.
Sun's coming out in Ann Arbor today, so hopefully Michigan uses that as a sign.
Pitch now coming. Taken high by Snyder to move it to a 2-2 count.
Ramuno looking for this 3rd strikeout of the day here.
As that ball is swung on, sent foul. Snyder now staying at the 2-2 count.
Snyder pulling those pitches back towards that right side of the field. Washington doesn't seem to be adjusting any of their defense to accommodate for this hitting pattern by Snyder. But
as Snyder lifts one up, a little low pitch, but that is flying out into center field. Ball hauled in by Casey Burdick. as we will see Ella Stevenson remain at first base. 1 out now for the Huskies as they move on to see number 20, Lily Valamont, up to bat for the Wolverines.
Last at bat, she had a double in the bottom of the second inning. Trying to get another big play here for this Michigan team.
As first pitch is fouled off. Couldn't tell if it hit the net there before it ended up going into foul territory or if it was missed by Melody Ace.
Valmont looking for a possible RBI here with Ella Stevenson not taking a lead here off of first.
Pitch taken for a ball by Valmont. Move to a 1-1 count. Pitch coming, swung on, hit foul. Move to a 1-2.
Valmont, one of those batters that you see is able to battle back when she is behind in that count. Ramuno, also a pitcher who's not phased by being ahead in this count. Looking to capitalize on this moment here.
Pitch coming is taken for the strikeout, and that will be that third strikeout for Sophia Ramuno. It's going to move to 2 outs on the half inning for the Huskies. Stevenson still at first as they lead 6-4. Up to bat now for the Wolverines, number 7, Maddie Erickson. Erickson takes the first pitch for a ball. Moves outside.
Erickson hasn't been on base yet today, but looking to send Stevenson home or hopefully move her further along those bases.
Second pitch coming. Taken for a ball.
Erickson, one of those key players for the infield on this Michigan team. Trying to translate those skills to offense.
As Erickson makes good contact with ones and sends it out to deep left center field for a 2-run shot to haul in her and Ella Stevenson. And the Wolverines will tie this game up at 6 in the bottom of the third as our offensive streak continues.
That's exactly what this Michigan team needed to get back in that game, knotting this score up at 6-6. Raimundo trying to regroup with the rest of the infield here, as they're trying to make sure that Michigan cannot score any more runs. But this is exactly the game that we expected, as the past 2 games have been a back-and-forth battle. Michigan usually taking an early jump, and then Washington trying to catch up as they keep going. But this is a crazy game to be having this tied 6-6 in the bottom of the third.
Avery Fantucci now up to bat for the Wolverines will take the first pitch for a strike. Wolverines happy to stay in this game as far as they have, keeping up with this high-powered Washington offense with their own high-powered offense. Of course, the reigning Big Ten champions, the Wolverines, currently sitting unranked, but will look to try and enter into the conversation if they can get a win off here and then move on to a few more good wins, as Fantucci makes good contact and drives a ball down. It will be just foul. Just a couple inches left of the third base line.
Fantucci, great contact. Is her last at-bat. Excuse me, yeah, at her last at-bat, she made great contact before as well.
Fantucci sitting at a 1-1 count now. We'll watch ball 2 go by.
Washington not a fan of that call. Thought it was a little bit up higher above her knees.
Pitch now coming. Fantucci sends one right to the first baseline, where it is hauled in by Alexis DeBoer to get the final out of the third inning.
Quick inning for the Wolverines, but a successful one as they tacked on 2 runs from that 2-run shot by Erickson to send her and Ella Stevenson home adding to her impressive RBIs on the season.
Yeah, our home run streak continues so far. Seen at least one homer every inning since the second.
Yeah.
And with the way it's going, I'd say expect to see a few more.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely going to be a back-and-forth battle here. Michigan trying to fight for that first win in their conference as they're switching out pitchers here as well. A little potato sack race action going on in the outfield, too, as it's Kids Day here at Alumni Field.
Looks like, if we want to call this, I don't know who is in the lead, but he just absolutely smoked his competition.
Demolished.
About 10 or 12 jumps ahead to get down to the first baseline over at the wall.
I don't know. I feel like they should have called us in for that race by that performance.
Be up to bat for the Huskies when we start the top of this fourth inning. Tia Durst, the catcher. As we hear more Chris Stapleton, seems to be a favorite of the PA booth here in Ann Arbor.
Michigan once again making that pitching change to freshman Grayson LaMarche with a 3.43 ERA. Right-handed pitcher looking to make sure that this Michigan defense makes a stop here. Looking for a quick 1-2-3 inning and getting rid of this Washington momentum.
LaMarche making her 10th appearance on the season. Will look to get a few more strikeouts. She's a decent strikeout capability as a pitcher in pretty limited usage as far as not really getting to the starting looks as much, but has 22 strikeouts on the season, is allowing a .258 batting average against.
Number 2, Tia Durst, is up to bat for this Washington team, looking to get her first hit of the day, batting at .227. As she'll get ready as LaMarche is going to throw her first pitch of the night, of the afternoon.
First pitch coming for Tia Durst is taken for a strike, move it to an 0-1 count. And that's got to be something that you're happy to see out of your pitcher after kind of seeing that struggle with Gabby Ellis to find the strike zone. Move in some fresh legs, fresh arm, get the bat swinging. As second pitch coming, taken for a ball, move it to a 1-1 count.
Marsh is a dynamic pitcher, trying to make sure that this Washington team gets a little bit shaken up. This is a great strategy by Michigan, trying to show a little bit of difference and variation in their lineup.
As that ball is lifted up, a low one, sent out into right field where it is hauled in easily by Lauren Putz for the first out at the top of this fourth inning.
Putz is an offensive leader but does have this dynamic ability on defense in that outfield, making sure that this Washington team is stopped in their tracks, limiting their runs and limiting their base runners as well.
Allie Hetzel up to bat. We saw her last at bat, ended up with that 3-run homer as she sends one right down the middle through the second base to get a single for the Huskies. A good start for her today, reaching base all 3 appearances so far with a walk, that home run, which I guess, I don't know if you count reaching base as much as reaching home, and then a single here as she'll be taken off for a pinch runner here.
Riley Rabin
Number
comes on
33, Jing Gardner coming in for the Huskies.
Hetzel, one of those players that does like to get an early jump at the ball, so executing that very well at the plate at her last at bat. Trying to keep this Michigan team on their toes as the wind starts to pick up here.
Ava Carroll sees her first pitch. Will send out a pop fly out to left center field where it's hauled in easily by Ella Stevenson.
Stevenson not letting Gardner try to take advantage and tag up on that second base there, hauling it in quickly. 2 outs, Michigan making sure that they get this quick inning that they wanted. so they can get back in that box and hopefully tack on some extra runs for assurance.
Shortstop Melody Acevedo now up to bat. Saw her get a single in the second inning here as she sends one over in between left center field, where that is also hauled in by Ella Stevenson, making a run out into the center part of the outfield. Nice 2 put outs back to back there for Stevenson, as come back and see Michigan put up a scoreless top of the fourth, first scoreless half inning they've seen since the first inning, which started out with the Huskies getting no runs on the board.
Four up to bat for that last half inning for the Huskies. Not the performance they wanted to see, but Michigan really hoping to keep this momentum going that they had on that defensive front, as Washington too makes a pitching change, bringing in number 8, Maddie Ramey, taking out Raimuno, looking for that switch up to shake up this Michigan offense.
Maddie Ramey, primarily a first baseman for this team. Started 41 games at first last season. It was a 2022 Michigan Miss Softball, prestigious award around the state for all high school softball players.
Washington trying to keep this confidence up after they didn't have the inning they expected in the top half of this inning. We're trying to limit Michigan's ability to keep scoring and keeping on those runs.
You see some throwing partners in the outfield for all the Huskies. Waiting up to see up to bat for the Wolverines, Indiana Langford. Going to come in against the new pitcher.
Langford had a hit her last at bat with 2 runs so far in this game, and was walked at her during her first at bat. Trying to stay on base and keep these Michigan runs coming in. Once again, the wind picking up in Ann Arbor. The pitcher's trying to adjust to accommodate.
Absolutely. We saw some time changes between both baseball and softball first pitches today. Moved up softball by an hour this morning, as first pitch coming against Indiana Langford. Langford still using that slap technique to try and get that early run to first base, as she will take strike 1 there with the swing. Into an 0-1 count. Second pitch coming. Also taken for strike 2.
Langford, a key player for this Michigan offense, trying to get on base, get those base runners on.
Reimer sends third pitch out. This being Reimer's first appearance, I believe, on the season for Washington as a pitcher. 1-2 count, pitch coming. Langford fouls it off.
Hoping to drive up this pitch count for Reimer. Hopefully tire her out before she can get something going.
Yeah, Michigan already seen 3 pitchers take the circle. Gonna hope to try and even it out there, make 3 go up for Washington. As that next pitch is taken low for a ball, moved to a 2-2 count for Langford. Some discussion being taken up by the infielders with Reimer. Pitch now coming. Taken for Langford for the strikeout, strike 3. As Reimer gets her first strikeout of the day.
Up to bat now, Janisa Conway. She's gone 2 for 2 so far today with 2 hits. Conway had that 3-run shot back in the bottom of the second to push Michigan ahead of Washington. Looking once again to add on more runs.
As first pitch is taken for a strike by Conway. Conway talked about just now one of the catalysts for this offensive game so far, that 3-run shot.
Michigan has scored in every inning so far, looking to keep that streak going. Washington seems to be limiting their ability right now.
Conway takes second pitch for ball 1. We now see third and swung on, foul. That one going right to the dirt. A 1-2 count. Base is clear for the Huskies. 1 out so far at the bottom of this 4th inning.
This Michigan lineup is really able to turn a game around quickly. Though the score is tied up, it does seem like Washington has a bit of the upper hand right now.
Conway fouls off another one. Keep the count at 1-2.
Michigan has had some big runs in this series, Conway being a contributor to those, especially last game where she had that shot to give the Wolverines that push of momentum, but they still fell short. Just a single shot here, Conway could send the Wolverines ahead to tip the score in their favor.
So there's another one fouled off by Conway, staying alive in the count. Down 1-2 in the so far. Pitch coming, fouled off again. It's a battle from Conway, trying to get the pitch she wants.
Seems like she's reaching for the pitch rather than having the pitch come to her. That was a low ball she sent straight back behind the plate and over the netting here. She's a little bit further back in the box, trying to wait on that perfect pitch.
Conway fouls off yet another one.
Really staying headstrong here in that box. It's a great work by Conway to really work this pitch count, try to put it back into her favor. Though the count is 1-2, really trying to tire this Washington team out, especially this pitching staff.
Yeah, moving Reimer's pitch count way up on this at-bat. As she swings and will not make contact this time, will be a strikeout for Reimer, her second of this inning. Up to bat now for the Wolverines, number 2, Lauren Putz.
She's been walked twice so far this game.
As that first pitch will be a ball low.
Possibly getting a third walk here. Try to at least get some base runners on from Michigan. This has been the scoreless inning, the first scoreless inning of the game.
Second pitch coming, taken for ball 2. Reimer winds up, sends a pitch where it is taken and moved, lined over right on the third baseline by Putz, who will slide down for a double.
Putz just adding on to be another base runner for this Michigan team. Once again, trying to tip this score back into their favor. Making great contact, sending it right down that third baseline in the outfield, and making those outfielders turn their back so she can take that second base. Great work by Putz.
Runner now in scoring position for the Wolverines with Putz on second. Hain now up to bat. Hain moved to the designated player position after finishing her appearance as the starting pitcher for the day.
Putz taking a big jump off second during these pitches here, trying to make sure that this Washington team is on their toes at all times.
First pitching for a ball by Hain. Second one swung on as the ball gets behind the now catcher for the Washington Huskies, Allie Hetzel. Hetzel will not be able to throw the ball in time to stop Putz from taking third base.
Putz not usually one of the faster plays on this Michigan team, but really trying to make sure that Washington is on their toes, taking that base, taking third base as the catcher fumbles the ball.
That ball is swung on for strike 2 by Hain. Went to a 1-2 count, 2 outs for the Wolverines. Got Putz on third, trying to drive in one more run and take this lead and end the scoreless drought that we've seen in one inning so far in this game.
Yeah. Hain trying not to leave anyone stranded on these bases, though Putz is just 60 feet away from taking that lead for Michigan.
Ball taken by Hain, moved to 2-2 count. Pitch coming, swung on by Hain, will be a ground out, easy to Reddy, who will throw it to first for Alexis DeBoer to get the put out.
Good work from Michigan on this inning. Though it was scoreless, definitely showed some dynamics and switch-ups that they didn't previously. Putz once again showing off that speed, taking third base. Just not able to capitalize on those base runners.
So we move to the top of the 5th inning, our first scoreless inning in the 4th. And maybe our offensive clinic that we've seen be put on by both these teams will come to a bit of a halt.
Yeah, Michigan not really seeing the same level of play that they've previously shown. Washington, though, still trying to show that pure athleticism in the team, trying to flash that leather just a couple times to make big stops. Michigan here keeping LaMarche for the in the circle, as her success last inning led to no runs from Washington.
Move to the top of the 5th here. We'll stick with Grayson LaMarche in the circle for the Wolverines. We are tied up at 6. And she will face off against Mila Reddy for the Huskies to lead off this 5th inning.
Reddy only has one at-bat today, but had a hit and a run. Though her batting average is only at a 6.7, she is trying to make sure that this Washington team can tack on a couple extra runs to make the score in their favor.
Reddy 1 for 1 on the day. We'll see pitch 1 go wide of the strike zone. We'll take it for a ball. Move to a 1-0 count.
Washington great at making good hits and contact in the middle innings of their games.
Second pitch taken similarly by Reddy for ball 2. Next pitch coming will be swung on by Reddy, who will send it out into right center field, where it'll be hauled in by Janissa Conway, who will get the put out.
Conway using that defensive stamina, trying to make sure she gets that ball, calling off the right fielder to make that out right there.
Sophie Mazzola now up for the Huskies. Previously going 0 for 2 on both at-bats in this game, as she fouls off the first pitch she sees. Move to 0-1.
Mazzola once again aggressive hitter in that box, trying to stretch out that pitch count for her opponents. But LaMarche also trying to make sure that those hitters are not getting ahead in that count.
Marsh, it's the next one up, fouled off again by Mazzola. Keeping the ball in the zone, forcing them to swing.
Mazzola's first ball was hit more towards down the third baseline, and her second foul was hit down that first baseline. So keeping that Michigan team on their toes, not really knowing where that ball is going to go next.
Next pitch coming, will be just fouled off by Mazzola again, this time right below her. So we're getting every single stage of the foul ball we can here.
Michigan regrouping here, figuring out what the next smart pitch will be. This is a pitcher's count in Michigan's favor.
0-2 pitch coming. Will be sent high, taken for ball one. Move to a 1-2.
LaMarche only facing 5 batters, and Mazzola being that 5th batter. Only 9 pitches so far this inning.
1-2 pitch coming. Will be swung on and will get down over to Indiana Langford. Langford will throw to first base for Sienna Snyder and will apparently not be in time as called by the umpire. As that'll be a single for Sophie Mazzola.
Mazzola using that speed in her favor, beating that throw out. Great work from her.
Casey Burdick now up to bat for the for the Huskies. I apologize. Will take first pitch for a ball, move to a 1-0 count.
Burdick during that top of the 3rd inning had that huge 2 RBI double to push the Huskies ahead there. She fouls one off.
Second pitch seen for a foul ball. To 1-1.
Burdick being that leadoff hitter for this Washington team, trying to get them to regroup and settle back into that rhythm that they had during the first couple of innings.
This pitch coming. There is a steal attempt taken up by Mazzola, who will reach second base. A little half bunt action over on the plate by Burdick to maybe force some kind of movement by the catcher. Not able to make the throw in time. Valamont. Mazzola will take second. Pitch coming now. Will be taken for strike for, I apologize, for ball 3, move to a 3-1 count.
Burdick looking for another RBI here to tack onto her impressive 14 on the season.
Burdick swings on the 3-1 pitch, move it to a full count here. Sophie Mazzola, the runner on second for the Huskies, 1 out in this top of the 5th inning. Huskies scoreless last inning. Going to see if they can pick it back up and break this tie. As she makes contact, will move it down foul across the first baseline. Will stay at a full count.
This Washington team is great at driving up that pitch count for their opponents, making sure that they are staying aggressive in that batter's box. Michigan does as well, making this a really interesting matchup between the two to end off this 3-game set.
Pitch coming. Will be swung on for the strikeout, I believe, or saying she made contact with that will be a foul tip, not hauled in by Valamont to achieve the full strikeout.
Mazzola ready to go on any pitch now.
As Mazzola makes contact, will send it down, or Burdick makes contact, will send it down. It goes off the glove of Sienna Snyder to move it into foul territory, and Burdick will be able to reach third off of the defensive miscue, and she will get what would be most likely deemed an error to achieve the RBI and break this scoring drought for the Huskies.
Once again, one of those mistakes that Michigan needed to focus on was making sure that they keep that ball in front of them. As soon as the defenders turn their back on that ball or on that play, that's a sign for that offensive side to take the next base and make sure that they're taking advantage of it. That's exactly what Washington did. Keeping that ball in front of them is important, as Washington did get another run, tipping the score now. Washington at 7, Michigan with 6. Michigan trying to regroup after that error that led Burdick to get all the way to third base.
Michigan's second error of the day. Leave both coming off of the bat of Burdick.
Burdick's speed and IQ on those bases led to her getting all the way around to third, putting her in a better scoring position than she would have been originally. With Alexis DeBoer up to bat, Michigan's really got to pay attention here, especially since there's only one out in the inning.
Alexis DeBoer now up to bat. We saw her get that 3-run shot in the second. Ended up not reaching in the third, but will continue on nonetheless. Takes first pitch for a ball. Second coming will be taken for a strike. Move to a 1-1 count.
Once again, DeBoer with that 3-run shot in the top of the second really added to Washington's momentum, which tipped the lead back into their favor at that moment. Looking to add on to that lead, too, here is DeBoer is one of the power hitters on this team with an average of .414 and 11 home runs with 29 RBIs.
It's a 2-1 count now coming, and that ball was swung on foul to move to a 2-2 count for DeBoer.
DeBoer had a great game these past few days. She had a couple of hits in the first game of this series on Friday, as well as the second one last night.
DeBoer will take a low pitch for ball 3 and move it to a full count.
You can feel how important this pitch is here for Michigan, trying to make sure that DeBoer does not get on base, because as soon as she does, they know that she's a threat.
DeBoer makes contact, sends the ball foul, will end up hitting into Casey Burdick coming off at third base. She'll get checked on by Washington's third base coach. Looks like she's all right.
DeBoer is not the player I'd want to get hit with. She's a powerful hitter in that box, especially just only 60 feet away. Impressive work by Washington being able to recover.
3-2 pitch coming will be swung on by DeBoer, who will get it down over to the second baseline before it's stopped by Indiana Langford. Langford will turn around and get the put out, throw to first to Sienna Snyder. That will get the second out of the inning, but it will not be before Washington can tack on another run.
Tipping score now is 6 Michigan, 8 Washington. With the bases cleared, as number 42, Giselle Alvarez, is up to bat. Alvarez, once again, a run producer for this team. 9 home runs on the season, 36 RBIs. Making sure that she adds this Washington momentum here as well.
Alvarez now sitting at a 1-0 count. We'll see the pitch. Will make contact, move it out into center field. It will be taken in by Janisa Conway.
Once again, great work by Conway, calling off her fellow outfielders to get that ball in and end this inning where Washington was able to tack on 2 extra runs. Once again, taking advantage of Michigan's error, or excuse me, the error by Michigan first baseman Sienna Snyder, having Burdick get all the way to third and then once again score off that hit from DeBoer.
Washington does end their 1-inning scoreless drought in the 5th. This time not by way of the home run, but by death by a few couple, like 2 or 3 paper cuts, we'll say. A couple errors on the Michigan fielding, unforced errors around, allowing them to get into some favorable positions, let them put up 2 more.
Up to bat for the Wolverines is going to be Ella Stevenson. her last at bat, she had a single in the top of the third, adding to that Michigan success there. And then after Stevenson, it's going to be Erickson, who also led to their success with that 2-run shot in the bottom of the third. Hoping to recreate some magic here and build up that Michigan confidence that they seem to be losing a little bit now.
That was Stevenson getting her practice swings in, as Reiner will retake the circle for the Huskies.
Reimer with a pitch count of 22 so far, keeping it fairly low for as far into the game as she's gotten. Also keeping this Michigan team scoreless in that past inning, hoping to keep that up this inning. Seeing Michigan try to take back their lead that they want to secure for their first Big Ten victory.
Ella Stevenson, the unanimous Big Ten Freshman of the Year, or All Big Ten freshman team, for in the 2024 season. She'll see pitch one for the strike, move it to 0-1 count. Second pitch coming will be taken for a ball outside. Move it to a 1-1 count for Stevenson.
Michigan's had some big runs in this series. Stevenson being a contributor to their success. There's a pass ball, but no one on base to steal it for them.
Next pitch ended up hitting the ground a little lower than Reiner wanted, or Reimer.
In the 7th inning of their first game of this series on Friday, Stevenson had a home run to drive in 1 run.
The 2-1 pitch taken for ball 3. 3-1 count for Stevenson. Stevenson only 4 walks on the season, so not really her specialty, but she'll work the count any way she can. She'll find a way, I'm sure. As she swings on the next 3-1 pitch, fouls it off to the left, move it to a full count.
Stevenson here, one of those players for Michigan that works well on both their offensive and defensive front, but still looking to work more for this offense as they want to get some more runs here.
Who's coming will be swung on by Stevenson, who will get a low ground ball out to third base for the easy force out at first to Alexis DeBoer. Be the first out this bottom of the 5th inning. Sienna Snyder now up to bat for the Wolverines, 0 for 2 on the day. We'll see the first pitch and take it for a ball.
Snyder still a bit shaken up by the error from the top of the inning that led to Burdick getting all the way to third. Trying to make sure that this Michigan team is staying on top of the game, shaking up this Washington pitching staff.
As Snyder makes good contact and will line that out in the center, where it is taken a diving grab by the center fielder. Now Casey Burdick in center field taking that grab.
Burdick having a day both offensively and now defensively as she laid out for that one.
A nice grab by her to secure the out. Laying out right over the M.
Snyder, though, made great contact there, just not in the right spot.
Lily Valmont now up to bat for the Wolverines. We'll see the first pitch, take it for a ball. A 1-0 count. 2 outs so far in this bottom of the 5th for the Wolverines. Now trailing 8-6.
Valmont had that huge double in the bottom of the 2nd to tip the Michigan advantage, but she takes another strike here.
A 1-1 count for Valmont. Reimer goes out to the tout. Next pitch coming will be low again. Will end up in the dirt before it reaches the plate. Second pitch we've seen this inning by Reimer end up in the dirt.
She's doing a great job of trying to wear out Reimer. As she said, 2 wild pitches this inning. She's trying to make sure that she keeps up with that, or is pitching some that they can hit, make some great contact with.
2-1 pitch coming will be lined over into right field, but hauled in easily by Sophie Mazzola.
Mazzola once again laying out for that beautiful hit by Valmont, but just not in the right spot. Washington's outfield has truly been able to see their success from this inning, as we've seen their athleticism on display.
Mazzola looking very unbothered by that pretty solid piece of hitting there, just reaching over like it's every day that she gets those kind of outs.
Mazzola's one of the defensive leaders for Washington. But this Washington defense, tough to play against. Obviously ranked 17 in the nation. Michigan unranked, still looking for that first win in the conference as we enter the top of the 6th inning.
See Grayson LaMarche continue to take the circle for the Wolverines. And up to bat for the Huskies will be Tia Durst, being moved to the designated player. And what do you expect to see, Amara, as we move into this final 2 innings of the game so far? Wolverines trailing by 2, 8-6, but it's been a pretty offensive game so far.
Yeah, Michigan hopefully trying not to have as many errors as they did. 2 errors on the game, not their best performance, but then also with Washington, this is where they really start to shine. These last 2 innings here are key for both teams, but Washington really trying to make sure that those bats are swinging. But then the same for Michigan, as Michigan usually does come out early striking, but they usually falter off as the last 3 or 4 innings start to come out, as we've seen here too.
It'll be exciting to see these last 2. I'm sure the bats are going to heat up for Michigan as they work to try and get this game back into a reachable range here.
Not to say that it isn't a close game, but Michigan hasn't scored very much in the latter innings of their games.
2 straight scoreless for the Wolverines, as Tia Durst will see the first pitch for a ball. Second pitch now coming. Also taken for a ball, now moved to a 2-0 count for Durst.
Durst with no hits on the day yet, but looking to get her first here. She has 5 hits on the season.
Durst makes contact with the pitch, sends it out foul. Move to a 2-1 count.
It's her 4th plate appearance of the day. Durst trying to add on to this Washington lead for some insurance, but just trying to make some contact and get on base. It's always the way to go.
As that pitch is taken for ball 3. Bit of a startle from the crowd there, expecting to see strike 2. Pitch coming will be taken for now strike 2. Move to a full count.
Lamar's trying to make sure that Durst is not seeing this next pitch that she's going to throw. As she gets ready to throw it up, looking for that strike here.
Next pitch will be fouled off short over into the third baseline in the Washington dugout.
Maddie Ramey coming over to Lamar's, trying to comfort her, making sure that she knows, keep your head in the game, you've got this. Trying to keep that confidence up.
Pitch coming will be a pop out into very foul territory, ending up in the stands. Looked like it was attempted to be tracked down by Maddie Ramey.
Durst really working up this pitch count here. Since that bat has been back and forth battle between the two. Durst fouling off a couple. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count, no outs.
Next pitch coming will be taken for ball 4, and Tia Durst will reach for the first time today with a walk.
Washington really excited about this call and have some base runners on finally for this team.
And they should be excited. Allie Hetzel now up to bat, batting nearly 400. We saw her hit that homer just earlier in the 3rd inning. And then that 4th inning single. And now we'll see what she can do with 1 runner on first.
Durst taking a big lead off of first, looking to steal second almost as she has that mitt on. Michigan doesn't seem to be too phased. Maddie Ramey checking on her.
First pitch taken. Second will be called a check swing on the first baseline. Looked like it was a pretty close call there on the check swing by Hetzel. Moved to a 2-0 count. Hetzel now makes good contact with one out into deep right center, and that is gone for her second home run of the day. Will extend the lead to 4 now for the Huskies. Moving to a 10-6 game, and that is just a great piece of hitting there, hitting that one opposite way by Hetzel, and the entire dugout is out again to celebrate with her.
Great contact by Hetzel, hitting it probably about 300 feet if I had to guess, right over the fence. Outfielders barely even moved, knowing that that was a straight shot as soon as it left the bat. Great work by Hetzel to really work that count in her favor. As she dug a little deep into it, Lamar's trying to regroup here as Carroll's up to bat for Washington now. She throws a strike.
Ava Carroll sees strike 1 into an 0-1 count. Bases cleared after that 2 RBI home run, second of the day by Allie Hetzel.
Carroll with 1 hit on the day and a run as well.
Second pitch will be fouled off for strike 2. Next pitch taken high for ball 1. 1-2 count. No outs so far this inning for the Wolverine fielders. 2 runs scored off of the home run by Hetzel. Now trailing 10-6.
Wolverines looking for a stop here.
1-2 pitch comes and is taken for ball 2.
With no outs, the Wolverines really have to battle back and stop this Washington offense from keeping their momentum. Once again, Washington is great at getting good deep into these late inning games and keeping their opponents from scoring and trying to even out this game here.
Ball 3 sent low by LaMarche. Marsh will have the full count up against Ava Carroll.
The crowd trying to get the wave going, trying to cheer up this Michigan team here.
As Carroll sends an easy ball out to first base, taken in by Maddie Ramey, and will get the force out at first.
It was a hard hit ball by Carroll. Great job by Ramey to keep it in front of her and not let this Washington team get on base. Great work by Michigan.
Melody Acevedo now up to bat for the Huskies. And do we think that force out there that they got, that first out of this inning, might have been due to the powers of the wave from the crowd?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The crowd out here in the outfield is really, really getting into this game. They're hopefully trying to get this Michigan team up, keep their momentum, keep their spirits up as the Michigan pitching staff takes a visit out to the mound.
I'll tell you what, I don't know how they're staying so active. Maybe it's just so they can kind of warm up a bit after feeling all this wind chill coming to get them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and it's Washington and Michigan fans. Okay, so they're coming together using the power of friendship to keep the energy up here.
Acevedo up to bat. We'll see pitch one low. Start the count 1-0.
Acevedo 1-3 on the day.
Next pitch swung on, sent foul. Got decent contact on it. Just drove out a bit late.
Maddie Ramey regrouping with pitcher Grayson LaMarche.
Next pitch coming. Be taken for ball 2. 2-1 count now for Melody Acevedo.
Starting to get a little colder here. As Michigan looks like they're a little tense on the field. They're trying to shake it out, make sure they stay loose.
Acevedo makes contact, goes down into the third baseline, picked up by Maddie Erickson. Erickson throws to Maddie Ramey at first base for the force out.
Great work by Erickson, keeping that ball in front of her once again to get that quick out right there. It's routine plays that Michigan's looking for, those quick outs, keeping that ball in the infield, not letting it get past them.
Mila ready up to bat for the Huskies. We'll see the first pitch for a strike. Start off 0-1 count. Now with 2 outs, the Huskies leading the Wolverines 10-6 at the top of the 6th inning.
Reddy at her last at-bat had that huge hit out into the outfield to give Washington that big push during the during the third inning.
Reddy will see ball 1 into a 1-1 count. Marsh Reddy's up in the circle. Wind up, send the pitch out. Be taken a bit low. Into a 2-1 count.
LaMarche looking like she's getting a little tired out now, having her pitch count hit 51, but has faced 13 batters, so making a pretty good work.
As Reddy makes good contact before it's caught up by Avery Fantucci, who will make the throw over to Maddie Ramey at first base to get the third force out and the end of this top half of the 6th inning. 2 runs scored by the Huskies off of the second home run of the day by Allie Hetzel. What did you see that really worked out for the Huskies on that inning?
Huskies once again making that Michigan team work for their outs. Though those were 3 routine outs that Michigan just got there, it's not like that last one where the ball was hit right towards the shortstop and she had to use that reverse glove work to throw it in to get that first out. So Washington, though that they did get those 2 runs, I wouldn't say that was their biggest success of the inning. I would say working that pitch count really worked in their favor.
So we'll see Morgan Reimer return again to the circle. Her pitch count at 34 so far on the day as the wind continues to pick up, blowing everything all around. Looks like it's moving its way due about east-northeast. Push some balls a couple ways out over into right field possibly, or maybe into the foul territory of right field more likely.
Washington going to have to accommodate for that as they do their final throwdown and get ready to face their next Michigan batter, Maddie Erickson, who had a great 2-run shot in the bottom of the 3rd inning earlier. Is looking to also have another success story here as Michigan's up to their second to last chance to tie this game up or hopefully get ahead.
Yeah, Michigan will still have the bottom of the 7th no matter what, but definitely would like to tack on a few more down 4 here. Make it a bit easier on them in the 7th.
They've gone scoreless the past 2 innings. So hoping to get at least just 1 or 2 runs, getting a couple base runners on to add to their success here.
Maddie Erickson will see the first pitch and be taken just foul. They'll move it to 0-1 count off the foul ball. Erickson 1 for 2 on the day.
Erickson made that great stop in the last inning to get the second out.
As Erickson makes contact again, we'll get the hop. The hop goes under the glove of Melody Acevedo, and that will be a single off the bat of Maddie Erickson.
It's a great work by Erickson. She probably didn't plan for that ball to get bounced exactly there. Took advantage of it as it got right under Alvarez and took that first base.
A runner on base for Michigan, that's the first step. Next up to bat is Avery Fantucci. 0 for 2 on the night. We'll see if she can change that to try and advance some runners.
Erickson gets subbed out for a base runner. Is number 17, Lexi Delmonica, seen as a pinch runner on first. She's in the position to steal too. Trying to fight against this wind as it's blowing against her.
Or we'll see a very short pinch hitting appearance for number 14, Janelle Alacqua, as that will be taken out over into Melody Acevedo's glove off the first pitch.
Acevedo made that huge leap to get that stop. It's a beautiful play by Acevedo.
Indiana Langford ready for the bunt. The speedster will try to make it to first base in time and will advance runners to second. Now first and second for the Wolverines with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th.
It's a great way to get a runner in scoring position and Langford to use that speed to her advantage. She's one of the shorter players on the team, so it's great to always make sure that when you lay down those bunts, you are hustling down that first baseline like your life depends on it. And Langford did just that to get advantage of that first pitch.
Janisa Conway now up to bat for the Wolverines.
Conway had that huge 3-run shot in the bottom of the 2nd. Has the ability to do the same thing now as there's a runner in scoring position as well as a runner on first.
First pitch was taken for a ball. Second pitch also taken low.
The Washington catcher, Allie Hetzel, eyeing Lexi Delamonica, who's on second base. She looks like she's going to steal.
Pitch now coming will be hit off the bat of Janisa Conway into deep left field. Hauled in by Ava Carroll. Will not advance any runners. Everybody staying where they're at. With Indiana Langford on the base paths, you've got Maddie Erickson ahead of her, so you do have that to look for. Maddie Erickson, not really a base stealer, but Indiana Langford absolutely is. If you can get a gap between them, you'll have to watch out her filling in that gap as well.
Oh, yeah. If Delamonica is able to get over to third, second base is all for Langford.
As Lauren Putz starts off her at bat for the Wolverines. Foul ball out in the first baseline. Move to count to 0-1.
Putz 1-1 all the day. With that double in the bottom of the 4th. And she was able to steal third on that pass ball as well, but wasn't able to come on in for a run.
Putz sees the second pitch for a ball. Next pitch coming. Putz holds off again. And the ball will be 2-1 count for Putz.
Washington trying to come back here after Michigan has had some success here on offense, but the pitching from Washington seems to tell a different story.
Another low ball sent out to Putz. We'll move it to a 3-1 count. We'll have a chance to get bases loaded here with one more ball.
Monaco once again taking that huge lead off second, making sure that Washington catcher Hetzel is on her toes at all times, preparing for that steal.
Putz will take strike 2. Now full count. Putz, of course, 2 walks today. Third here will load the bases.
Putz looking to make sure that Michigan can add some runs onto the score.
She'll foul off the next pitch, stay alive. Count will stay 3-2.
This is one of Michigan's most crucial moments so far in the game, as they're in a position to add on at least another run or two right here, right now. It's all in Putz's hands. So Raymer gets ready to deal her next pitch.
Pitch coming will be swung on and will get down around into shallow left field for Putz, who will get a 2-out single to advance Erickson all the way home to score. Michigan now with runners on second and first, and now you'll need to watch out for Langford. Langford has third base wide open for her to possibly move into to get another runner all the way over.
If that ball goes anywhere behind Hetzel or even she drops it, Langford's all day going to take that third base right there. And then with Langford, with Putz on first, if second gets open, that's all for her as well.
Putz, of course, 7 stolen bases on the season so far, so definitely has the ability for her. So double steal is in play. As Erin Hone will take strike 1.
Oh, not any.
As there it is, that is a pitch in the dirt, and Indiana Langford and Lauren Putz will both advance. Now 2 runners in scoring position for Erin Hone with 2 outs. Michigan looking to try and make this game a little bit closer.
That was a perfect execution of taking advantage of that pass ball. As soon as the catcher fumbles the ball, both girls already halfway to the bags. Great work by Michigan.
Ball will be swung on by Hone.
Hone has not had much success in the box today. Hoping to add to this Michigan momentum here. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Score being 10-7, Washington.
Next pitch coming will be swung on by Hone and missed for strike 3, and that will end the inning for the Wolverines. Pretty successful start out there, getting a lot of runners on base, but just couldn't cash in on 2 of them, ended up stranding 2.
As we enter this last inning here, Washington's really hoping to hold Michigan off, or as Michigan's hoping to hold Washington off and get those extra runs that'll hopefully push them back in the lead. Michigan, of course, hasn't led since the 4th inning. They're looking to gain that lead back and have a Washington stop here. But with Mazzola up first to bat, her last at bat in the 5th inning, she had a single and ended up stealing second base, so there's a lot to watch out for here.
Grayson LaMarche coming out to possibly close out the game for the Wolverines after coming in just a few innings ago in relief of Gabby Ellis.
Michigan pitching has done a pretty good job today. Though the score might not reflect it, they've done a great job of keeping girls in that batter's box for a longer time than normal, hopefully tiring out their swings. But Washington, inversely, has done the same thing, tiring out those Michigan pitchers, making them throw strikes, making them throw outside of their usual zone.
We'll see the defense remain the same for the Wolverines going to the 7th, no defensive substitutions.
Michigan hoping to flash that leather a couple times here to get those successful stops as they did. As shortstop number 23, Avery Fantucci had that beautiful stop to end the last inning and end Washington's reign.
Michigan infield, seeing Indiana Langford in between the first and second base, deep in the infield, all the way out to the edge between the border between the grass and the dirt. And see Maddie Erickson deep in the third baseline, ready for the bunt, as that ball is put up by Sophie Mazzola right into center field, and it drops down just out of the glove of Janisa Conway, who couldn't reach down in time.
Allowing Mazzola to get all the way out around to second base, putting runners in scoring position early on in this inning off the first pitch. It was a great work by Washington right there. Noticing that she's able to take that second bag as the ball got past Conway.
Now up to bat for the Huskies is Casey Burdick, probably one of the more active players getting on base today for the Huskies. Burdick, 2 walks today, 1 double.
Burdick, a huge offensive leader for this team, especially when she's in that box. Though she's not the fastest player on the team on the bases, she's a smart base runner, making sure that she's able to capitalize on these moments.
Burdick attempting the bunt will not be able to make it to first, but will advance the runner, Sophie Mazzola, to third. 1 out now for the Huskies. They're top of the 7th inning. Runner on third. Wolverines gonna have to try and keep the ball out of play so that the runner will not be able to advance either by a sac fly or whatever other means.
Washington having that 11th run just 60 feet away. Key for Michigan to make sure that she's not getting there. No errors and mistakes can be made right now if Michigan wants to at least stay within reaching distance as they enter the bottom of the inning.
So Alexis DeBoer take the batter's box for the Huskies. We'll see ball 1. Now with the 1-0 pitch on the way, will be taken low for ball 2.
DeBoer had that ground out in the 5th inning, but did end up tacking on that RBI, allowing another runner to score. Looking for another success story similar as their win picks up again.
2-0 pitch coming will be taken by DeBoer for strike 1. Move the count to 2-1.
DeBoer smart in that box with that .414 average, once again 11 home runs and 29 RBIs on the season.
DeBoer swings on the 2-1 pitch, be hit foul. Move the count even to 2-2. Bit of a discussion between first baseman Maddie Ramey and the pitcher Grayson LaMarche.
LaMarche figuring out which pitch is the smartest to throw for DeBoer. She knows she's one of those power hitters on this Washington team.
Marsh sends a pitch down, will be taken for ball 3, a bit low and outside.
Belmont checking up on Sophie Mazzolo, the runner on third base, making sure that she's not trying anything.
Full count now for Alexis DeBoer. Pitch coming. Will be swung on, will move down over into the hands of number 23, Avery Fantucci. Fantucci will throw to first base for Maddie Ramey to get the force out at first. The runner will not advance, and a great stop by the Wolverines there.
Great work by Fantucci to check that runner at third as well. That quick spin really does make all the difference, especially in a game like this where there's high stakes on the line for this Michigan team, looking for, once again, that first Big Ten conference win.
Giselle Alvarez now up to bat for the Huskies, 1 for 4 on the day. We'll see pitch 1 high for the ball. A 1-0 count.
Alvarez had that base hit in the 2nd inning and scored a run shortly after.
Alvarez will see ball 2 high as well.
Looks like they're intentionally walking her to limit Washington's ability here.
Ball 3 a bit outside.
This is honestly a smart move by Michigan.
And Michigan will complete the pitch out and will advance Giselle Alvarez to first base on the intentional walk. No auto walk system in softball. I'm gonna say a bit of a change I'd like to see, honestly.
I think walking Alvarez was a smart decision by Michigan. Though she does have that ability now to steal second, her power and that plate is unmatched.
It does bring up to the plate Tia Durst. Durst 0 for 1 on the night. One walk that we saw in the 6th, but flat in the 9th, or flat in the 4th.
Durst, one of those base runners for Washington that they're looking for. So we're taking a pause here. Umpire's trying to regroup. Get his home plate umpire trying to get his mask back on. He signals to resume play.
Play back on for the 0-1 count to Durst. Pitch coming. Will be taken for ball 1. Now 1-1 count. Runners on first and third for the Huskies. 2 outs. Huskies lead 10-7 against the Wolverines this top of the 7th inning.
This 2-out situation is truly key for the Michigan team. They're trying to limit Washington's scoring.
Pitch coming and swung on will pop up, but will go just too far for the catcher, Lily Valmont, to get to.
Michigan trying to tire out these swings from Washington, force him to swing at pitches they wouldn't normally do.
Teeters now with a 1-2 count. Regional Marsh will send the pitch. Will be taken for ball 2. Even the count up at 2s.
Once again with this 2-out high pressure situation, Michigan looking for this stop here, making sure Washington cannot add on this run that's 60 feet away.
Pitch coming will be swung on and will be sent foul.
It's a great work by Durst trying to tire out LaMarche here, forcing her to throw these pitches. Her still swinging at them to stay alive in that box.
As a very strong gust of wind picks up here at the booth, and that ball will be a shallow one sent out to number 23 Avery Fantucci, who almost catches it off the bat, but we'll get the out sent to Indiana Langford on second for the force out to end the inning, the top half of the inning.
Michigan with this last chance here to strike something up, looking for some chance here to at least tie up the score, possibly go into extras here. Washington looking for a big stop as Raymer takes the mound again. Washington is undefeated in the Big Ten Conference play, looking to keep that here and close out this 3-game set that they've already won the first 2. Some of our papers fly away here.
If you want to know how strong the wind is up here, it is moving laptops. They may be MacBook Airs, but
the air is taking them away for sure. Michigan here trying to time up their swings as Washington comes together, finish out their small warm-up to close out this game here.
Yeah, we know.
Thank you. Somebody trying to help us out here with our papers.
So we try to organize amidst all this wind. No love for WCBN inside the press box.
They always put us on the outside here. It's okay. Oh, and there goes the second one. As Max tries to regroup here. Raymer throws the first pitch, which is caught and stopped by Ava Carroll. And she tosses over to Alexis DeBoer to get that first out.
After losing yet another paper in the booth, we persevere with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning here. It's about now for Michigan will be number 12, Sienna Snyder. Sienna Snyder will take pitch 1 by Morgan Reimer for a ball. Michigan still trailing 7-10 as I lose my final paper.
The last paper is gone.
My final paper of the night is gone. Reimer sends out another pitch, will be fouled off by Snyder.
Reimer 0 for 3 on the afternoon here, as she's trying to fight back and give Michigan this last glimpse of hope down to their last 2 outs of the afternoon.
Snyder will see pitch 3 and take it for ball 2. Now a 2-1 count.
Michigan here looking for any sort of contact to get people on base.
Pitch coming will be swung on and into the Washington dugout off the bat of Sienna Snyder, just through the gate.
Snyder doing a great job of working this count, trying to get it back into her favor, making contact, shaking this pitcher up here.
2-2 count for Sienna Snyder. Pitch coming will be swung on, be a short ball put to the hands of Mila Reddy, who will get the force out. Now Michigan down to their last out of the game, trailing by 3. Washington leading 10-7, the bottom of the 7th inning.
Reimer looking for a quick out here by the last batter, Lily Valamont. Washington looking for this 1-2-3 inning.
Valamont 1 for 3 today with a double. See if she can keep Michigan alive, as she will see ball 1 go by.
Valamont had that big double in the bottom of the 2nd earlier. That was her last hit of the game. Looking for a second one here. She takes her next pitch.
See ball 2 go by. Now a 2-0 count for Valamont. I'm on only 4 walks on the season.
Any way to get on base, Michigan's looking for any runners they can here.
Just need to extend out the count. Let's see, strike 1. Now a 2-1 count for Valamont. If Michigan can get Valamont on base, next up to bat would be Maddie Erickson, who we saw have that single just last inning, followed by Avery Fantucci.
Valamont looking for any swing of momentum here.
Valamont will take now strike 2. Michigan now down to their last strike with a 2-2 count on Lily Valamont, being pitched by Morgan Reimer.
This Washington bench is all on their feet, excited to come out and celebrate with their team as Michigan's down to their final strike of the afternoon.
Morgan Reimer will send the pitch, and it will be foul tip caught by Allie Hetzel for the strikeout. That will be the 3rd strikeout on the night for Morgan Reimer. Will end the game. Michigan will fall to Washington, be swept in the series by a score of 10-7 in Game 3. What did we see today, rather than our blustery conditions where we've lost many, many papers? we thank them all for their service, and wherever else they may be behind us. What did we see today out of Washington that really let them take the lead over Michigan?
Washington's ability to keep in this game. Michigan making those errors really set them back, but Washington able on this defensive front, making sure their pitchers are hitting those marks, keeping their gloves out in front of them, not letting the ball get behind them. Washington didn't turn their back against the ball once this game. Michigan can't say the same thing.
Yeah, Washington absolutely did not let their foot off the pedal. Once they got going, they kept going. Only three scoreless innings for the Huskies today. Multiple multi-run innings, 4 multi-run innings, multiple home runs. Really just a clinic offensive-wise for the Huskies. Michigan attempting to kind of stand their ground and have their own kind of offensive game, and they put up their own homers, but really just couldn't keep going into the later parts of the game.
Yeah, that's a trend Michigan's been having lately, struggling in those latter innings. They do come out strong, like I said, out the gate. First through fourth innings, they usually don't struggle too much, but then it is keeping up in those latter five, 6th, and 7th innings.
Yeah, Michigan fielding also playing a bit of a role in the score being the way it is at the end of this game.
Those errors really did hurt Michigan in the long run, though they didn't seem dramatic in the sense, but the one error on the first baseman that let Casey Burdick from Washington get all the way around to third base really did do some damage to that team, letting Washington tack on a couple extra runs there.
Well, as we sign off for the night, as always, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to listen to any point during our broadcast. We really appreciate any time that you spend with us. I have been Max alongside Amara. We thank you so much for listening, and as always, we leave you with a good night and a go blue. Let's get out of here.